Radiant team, ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ember Spirit.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Treant Protector.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our third and final Navi match of the day, our fourth match of day 26 of Starladder Europe action. I'm LD of Beyond the Summit. I'm joined here by Marlini. We are going to be casting Navi versus MYM. MYM do have a new roster. They've added Link as well as Crit, I believe, right?
Link and Rise.
Link and Rise. So yeah, Crit was on the team formerly. Navi, same roster that they've had for quite a while now. Their TI3 roster, in fact, and well, Navi looking good. 7-1 through the group stage. MYM 5-8. So as we head into this game, MYM, they're not going to qualify for the LAN finals, but mostly hoping to avoid the relegation matches and be around for next season of Starladder.
So Navi will snag their hands on an Ember Spirit at first pick. So it seems like if you're second pick, you almost always have to ban out Lycan. And
yeah,
most of the time people ban out Ember, but
it seems the only time teams give away Lycan is if you're EG, who just feel like they can deal with it with the tree. The tree sometimes darks here as well. And or if you want to get Ember yourself, and then maybe you leave him in the pool.
Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think it's worth trading a Lycan for, or an Ember Spirit for a Lycan.
No, I agree. I don't think it's worth it, but some teams have tried that.
That's true. Well, meter makers will start with something a little bit unconventional with the Disruptor in the first phase. Silences do kind of destroy Ember Spirit, but if Ember gets a jump on Disruptor, Disruptor is just a dead support most of the time.
Yeah, I guess Glimpse is also good versus Ember, potentially, but he just moves, like that ult goes off so quickly, so it's pretty hard to get the Glimpse timing right.
Yep.
So we'll see, but Navi go for a tree as well. Tree's really coming back.
This is the EG opener.
Well, the trees are being legalized around the United States, and I guess only fitting here that over in Europe they're going with the times. The green world we live in, Ben. Clockwork now the pick for MYM, the third pick. They ban out some interesting supports here. The Dazzle and the Shadow Shaman, two heroes that Navi have been running a lot of. It does leave, I guess, the Rubik, but My one big concern every time I see a tree is just you need a support that does a lot of damage when you go tree, because that hero does 0 damage. Or you need like a bunch of cores that hit really hard. Maybe we see the
Ember
Funnic.
Spirit hits really hard.
That's true. They have the Ember, but I think you still need more. I think this is where maybe we see the Funnic Timber Saw.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other offlaners that do decent amount of damage. Centaur's okay.
Yeah, Centaur's not bad. Double Edge hits pretty hard.
He's a good frontline for Ember Spirit. I think you really need another hero just to absorb a lot of damage so Ember Spirit can just slide a fist all day.
Yeah.
He's not really good as a frontliner himself. Even with tree armor, he's just super squishy.
MIM, they have a lot of crowd control through the first stage of the draft. Navi just waiting on the 3rd pick. They'll go for the puck here, so they give themselves some really good initiation, team fight, nice synergy with the Ember. I do wonder though, does Navi actually, are they going to run the Ember mid for Dendi? Do they maybe give this to Havost as the safe lane farmer?
It could be offlane for Funnic.
Could be offlane puck for Funnic, could be solo mid puck for Dendi, and the Ember could go safe or mid, so I guess Navi have a flexible.
I think it's more likely than not that Puck will go off lane, but I'm trying to think of any success that I've seen with Ember Spirits in a safe lane, or rather,
There
Ember
was like
Spirit.
I know there was a Korean Dota team that did it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it'll work here in this match. Crystal made in the pick for MYM. Another squishy support.
Yeah, they don't really have that much lockdown. Like, they have some pseudo lockdown with like Cold Snap and Static Storm Kinetic Field, but no actual like hard disables.
Yeah, what is the CM good for here is kind of what I'm wondering. The aura seems okay.
10 seconds.
Maybe they know they can get away with a greedy support if they want to play like Crystal Maiden like super greedy, but I think they should have just gone with like Enigma or
Enigma or Chen, then.
right?
Yeah.
I agree. I'm like, if they want to put out early aggression, it's decent, but with a Treant Protector in the game, most of the time you're just wasting your time.
I mean, if you want to put out early aggression, maybe you shouldn't pick Disruptor as well. Like, it just seems like these support picks are somewhat at cross purposes.
5 seconds.
Yeah,
Remaining.
I agree. Like, I think they could have just gone greedy, just go like Disruptor, CM, or Disruptor, greedy support, and someone else in the safe lane, get their levels, and then start pressuring out Navi.
Navi go Venomancer. Could be a farmer, potentially. Could be their support, but they are a tiny bit. Well, I guess they've got a decent number of stuns. Just not many like true stuns, but they've got some ways to cancel TPs here.
Venomancer does a lot of damage, though.
Yes.
5 seconds.
Which is good for Ember. You want, if you have a support that does a lot of damage, then the Ember can just finish everyone off. Also, by the way, Ancient Apparition is still out there. Again, they could run the Veno as a farmer. Maybe he goes to the solo mid role and they put Ember safe lane. They could also run the Veno off lane, which is something Fnatic's done in the past, not that common, but if they want the Ancient Apparition, but it looks like MYM do expect a support Veno, may ban Luna instead.
So Morphling will be the carry of choice for MYM.
I do like Morphling in this game. Navi have very few proper stuns. Not much burst. I mean, Ember later on has it, but Morph does pretty well against heroes like Veno. Puck maybe his one nemesis this game, but Puck alone should not be killing Morphling too much.
Yeah, it's just they're gearing for the late game, though. Like, Morphling can't put out any early
And do you want to go late against this Navi lineup?
think so. Especially with Navi having the last pick, too.
Rubik.
Wow.
So it is a farming Veno then. I was right. Looks like MYM was off the mark with that. And, well, it will be Havost on the Veno. So your safe lane Venomancer, your solo mid Ember, your off lane Puck, support Rubik for Kuro, and the Treant Protector for Puppy.
Farming Venom is becoming more common, but it's still very rare.
I like the idea of a farm Veno for what you mentioned, which is a support that does a lot of damage, and then you've got the Ember to just clean everyone up. Ooh. Huh.
So
Dendi on the Puck?
So Funnic on the Ember?
Are they going aggressive dual lane, maybe? Veno +1? I don't know. It's weird because they've got a tree. That doesn't really make sense.
Well, the two supports will be Tree and Rubik.
I feel like we're just going to
That's
see
all
a
I know.
swap here.
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
10 seconds.
Has anyone besides Dendi played Ember for Navi? I've only seen Dendi.
I've seen Havost played him. He went Maelstrom build. Was not very effective. This was when people were still kind of figuring out Ember and what he's good for.
Well, a pause will come out. Navi.
They'll talk it over. For now, it is Dendi Puck.
Or will it be swapped? Well, anyways, looking at the draft,
Yeah, I still feel like it should be swapped.
MYM's is just they have a little bit of different game plan. They have like a little bit of team fight with Clock Invoker. Disruptor's pretty good for team fight too. Like some good gank, and then they have the late game with Morphling. I think the Stam's the most out of place.
Yeah, especially they go for the Disruptor very early in the draft. Second pick, right?
Mm-hmm. I like Disruptor.
Yeah, but it's just a support that it's like, okay, we have a tool to deal with Ember even later on in the game, a support that just wants to sit back, get his levels, and then make plays around like that 8 to 10 minute mark range.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, you've got CM, who sure can go greedy in the jungle, but as mentioned, you can do that with Chen. They're running Treant.
No one's scared of a greedy CM though.
Yeah, how aggressive can a lineup with Treant possibly be? You know?
Sometimes it's super aggressive
DG?
if you have a Weaver, but
right, but it's
no.
usually like it comes with an aggressive carry, which Navi didn't really go for. Puck, he's okay, but mostly wants his levels. The Ember just wants to farm.
Havos is always an aggressive carry.
Oh yeah, then there's the Havos factor. You could put him on Lina. He'll still be diving your tier 3s at 5 minutes. Ember is finally snatched up. It goes the way of Funnick.
So what are their lanes going to be? Dendi mid.
Is this literally just like, maybe Navi are just like, you know what, we're tired of our normal lanes, let's just mess them up a little bit. No, they're gonna swap. Okay. All our wasted theory crafting for naught, and
That makes a
why
lot
did
more sense.
I feel like that's just pointless. Like, you shouldn't even be allowed to swap in competitive.
Unless it's a misclick.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you shouldn't lose a match because your carry player picks the support by mistake. I suppose that's fair. It's just annoying though. Like, what respectable professional team is actually going to be fooled by it? So it becomes this like silly and pointless back and forth. Casual clarity for Rise just to make himself feel good. He's topping off at the gas station, even though they tell you not to top off.
I guess they meant to pull him Tangos. GG. Guess that was crit.
Game's over. Let's go next. MYM can't possibly win with that one Tango disadvantage. Guys, it is our final match of the day for Starladder Europe Day 26, Navi versus MYM. Navi 7-1. If they win this, they'll be 8-1 and in pretty good position to move out as one of those top 4 teams to the LAN finals. But we start now. We'll introduce Navi. Puppy on your support Treant Predictor. Havos, your Venomancer. Kuroki playing the Rubik. That puts Dendi on the solo mid Ember. Funnick on the offlane Puck. So the unusual thing here, probably that farming Veno. Not something we see too much of. On the side of the Radiant, we've got MYM. Ace is your offlane Clockwork. Solo mid is Rise on the Invoker. In the jungle is Link on that support Crystal Maiden. Link much more known for his carry play in the past, and we'll have to see how he does on support. So far, I think the results have been mixed. Crit, your support Disruptor. They'll be the duo for the squad, and that leaves Unicorn, who I believe almost broke a CS record a week ago on the Morphling. I remember Brian said something about that.
Yep. Unfortunately, Navi first banned Naga. They have seen some of Unicorn's other carries, but I think Naga is one of his better ones for sure. Puppy's actually not bought any support items. Instead, with the Stout Shield, Quelling Blade, he might just be jungling at the start, knowing that MYM is very, very unlikely to do an aggressive tri-lane with a Morphling in their lineup. But Dendi coming under some harass already.
Well, Dendi definitely a little bit chafed at this. He'll throw out an angry sleight of fists now. Some good denies coming out on those Radiant creeps, so they'll dual lane mid to start things off, and, well, I don't know about this. Rise needs his levels, and sure, maybe it's shutting down Dendi a little bit, but it's Ember. Like, he'll most likely catch up regardless.
As long as he's getting XP. Which he is.
You're running Quas. Well, is it? Actually, maybe it is Quasic Sword, but even if I guess the Invoker can always go Midas to catch up on experience later, but you're on the Invoker mid. He needs the levels.
Yep. And it looks like Funnick has actually started stacking Ancients for some reason. They don't have a very good Ancient taking line. I guess Havos can once he gets his Venom Ores, so I take that back.
Ember can later on, but yeah, he needs a few items to do it. And levels as well. For now, MYM maybe trying to make a play here bottom, but Funnick got an Observer Ward up and the boots as well, and should be a very difficult kill, especially with no Disruptor here. Actually orbs into the trees, but I think they know he's here. There's a ping that came out. The question is, even if they know, can they kill him? He's got an orb cooling down in a few seconds. They're gonna Tango through Link it? Like, it seems like maybe he's questioning the decision. Is he actually there? No, he might find Funnick now.
They need to eat trees, or if he just scouts with Crystal Nova. Oh, there he goes. He scouts with Crystal Nova. They know he's there.
Did that actually... That might have been just outside the vision. He, like, the How big is the AoE on the vision? Is it
not
the whole AoE of the nuke?
I'm not sure. I thought it was, but apparently
They definitely didn't
move.
seem to see him, so. And Mike's like, maybe he's not there. No, there's Unicorn still pinging. He's like, damn it, man, I know he's there. He's getting levels. Where else could he possibly be? And Funnick will just happily jaunt back.
Behold. I like Puck's lines.
Yeah, Puck has good voice acting.
Disruptor level 2.5. How are they doing in mid? Rise is almost level 3. Dendi almost level 4 though. He finally has his bottle.
To be fair, Dendi is getting really poor farm, but he is getting his levels up, and the Ancients can be something they use to catch Dendi's farm up later on. They're getting good levels and farm on these supports as well. The tree's doing quite well in the woods. Puppy, level 3 already. Very, very efficient jungle from him, and even the Rubik for Kuro getting a lot done. He'll ensure that the full pull comes out here. Ember, Sleight of Fist through. I'm just... is it worth shutting down the Ember if you're also hurting your own Invoker? Because sure he's getting CS, but again, the levels. The levels, Ben, the levels.
The other option is to pull, but Link is already pulling, so it's not like I guess they're missing out.
Well, the CM
stats.
could be jungling though.
Right.
She is not taking a point in Frostbite.
This is true, and she's not doing a very good job of zoning out Funnick because Funnick has just been in the true. So, as long as they get level 6 at a reasonable time and Rise gets decent farm, I think it's okay. It's not the ideal situation. At some point, you'd hope that Rise can zone out Dendi by himself, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, especially with Tree Armor constantly aimed on him.
Well, there's a pair of Sentry Wards here for Puppy. Sure what they're aiming for with those.
Just in case they got blocked, maybe a gank on Invoker because they know he's Quas-Wex.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is maybe it is for the Invoker gank. Because they've been farming their jungle freely. They've already gotten off quite a few pulls here. They've been looking for the secondary pull, and Puppy's been farming this camp, so you should pretty much know there's no camps blocked off. Which makes me think maybe it is that gank on Invoker. Puppy looking for a double damager, and I'll find a top. Do they leave it for Dendi? Dendi's like, oh, I could use that.
Yep. Bottle coming to him too. And they can just pass Puppy the bottle.
Wow, 13 and 2. Win rates could be a little misleading, but 13 and 2 is 87%. I mean, Navi's win rate is not nearly that high, so this is a team that wins a lot more when Puppy's on that hero. Mid lane, Dendi's gone in with the Sleight of Fists. Not quite enough yet, though. What about the level 3 Searing Chains?
He's almost there.
But this is where you dual lane in the mid lane, and as soon as the Disruptor leaves, Dendi can still get aggressive on Rise.
Yeah, Rise is only level 4, so the levels are hurting him. He doesn't have 3 level quas yet, so his regen's pretty low, but then he won't have enough mana to spam him down. Maybe once he gets level 6, he can burst him though. Link and Crit, just both in the jungle.
I just don't understand the CM pick. Like, they're not being aggressive at all. She's just farming, but she wasn't even jungling to start the game off, which is what you expect.
Dendi and Rise both getting pretty low.
Rise almost died to Dendi's double damage rune, but couldn't quite get the kill, and then Rise turns around and does quite a bit of his own. Well, they have a smoke on CM, the boots are up. Maybe they'll look to make their first rotation soon. Maybe waiting just to clean up that one camp and then go. It's been very passive here from MYM. Free farm Morphling, traded for free farm Veno. Obviously, you'd be happier with the Morphling. So MYM do get the edge in terms of that. They are out CSing Navi a bit, but Navi's supports are just way ahead at this point. Mainly, well, actually, I mean, their supports are way ahead. It's just that the Invoker was kind of shafted to give the Disruptor some extra levels.
Yep, Kuroki being very efficient in the jungle, double pulling or double stacking, double pulling. Both putting a lot of pressure on this tower in the top lane.
Oh, Funnick. If he had gotten his Invis in bottom, he would have gotten the kill on Crit, I think. Mid lane, there's a double Spirit away, but the auto tech follows him. Dendi goes down to Rise solo. The phase boots came out, and that extra bit of damage, Dendi just not ready for it.
Pretty surprised that he died there.
Yeah.
He could try like a Sleight of Fist dodge, maybe if Invoker's in range, but
I think it was cooling down at that point.
yeah. Unfortunate for him.
Well, Dendi's been shut down thoroughly this game. Rise farming well, Dendi not farming well. They only have the single double stack of Ancients, and he's in no position to take them as of yet. So far, the Ember just hasn't really done much for Navi.
He's still gotten good levels though.
He got dual laned, to be fair.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But now we want to see what they do with the safe lane Veno. Early mech is coming out. Meanwhile, the Morphling goes Midas, so Unicorn, known for his farming prowess, will go for a greedier build. Why not? He's been left completely alone, and Dendi's been slowed down a lot.
Yep, level 7 on him, and he's just competing with the farming Venomancer too. So I think if this goes like late, MYM has the better lineup. They can get like an Orchid up on Invoker, make Ember's life terribly difficult, and no one can really contend with the Morphling in a straight one-on-one situation. The problem is that Ember just does so much damage to their supports, and Morphling is very much single target.
That's also where Funnick is important for Navi's late game. If he has a Hex, they can maybe deal with the Morphling. Without it, could be difficult. Navi will start clustering up top, level 4 up on the Treant, and they'll start making their push now. The wards are maxed, and they continue to be deployed. Meanwhile, mid lane, Dendi, under heavy duress, but they're still okay for now. Funnick just leech experience. He's up on the cliff. They really can't do anything about this. But both teams just playing this very passively overall. Aside from that solo kill, there's been nothing. By the way, I do want to point out...
on top.
Oh, the rune's about to spawn, but yeah, Ace hookshot's... Did he just hookshot in?
He hookshot in, he got lifted out of his cogs. And not really sure what the plan was there. Easy kill.
One thing I do want to point out is the way Dendi's playing the Ember mid, where you drop a Remnant at one rune, and what you can do is just run to check the other, and basically have a shot at both runes, but TM was already on top of it, camping there, and Dendi doesn't want to miss too much farm mid, so especially with this relatively poor start, he won't bother going for it.
Funnick looking for a kill mid, but they don't have any sentries. I don't think they can kill Rise. He has 950 HP and Tornado at his disposal. What level? Silence is only level 1.
Does Searing Chains reveal you if you go Invis? I believe it does, right?
It should. Integral base spells really do.
Okay. Yeah, like if it's root or even like a Noggin Snare, it definitely does, but I've actually seen it come into play with the Fiery Bolas, or the Searing Chains. I like the old name better. Just an old school guy,
What was it called before?
Fiery Bolas.
Oh, I never played the good one.
Rise, Dust is there. Rise going deep, but he has not counted on the living armor. Now the turnaround comes, there's another Searing Chains, there's a helicopter just flying through. Orchid Rush, I like this from Rise. I think it's a good item this game.
Yeah, it's fantastic versus Ember Spirit. Even, like, Invoker's decent at shutting down Ember. Yeah.
And good versus the
What was
Puck.
that dust for? It's just like casual dust. There were no supports coming in. Oh, maybe he expected Funnick to TP it or something, but Funnick doesn't even have a TP on him.
Yeah, Dendi's probably telling his team at this point, you guys need to come help me. This game is hard.
It's hard. Spam the chat wheel command.
I gotta say, Ben, it looks quite good for Navi, or for MIM so far.
Yes, it does.
Havos has the early mech, they did take the tier 1, and I guess where Navi's strength really lies is maybe this early pushing with the safe lane Veno, but
Yeah, he has Arcane Mech at 10 minutes.
But if Navi if they are blunted in these efforts to push, then you go into the mid game with a desperately underfarmed Ember, and MYM having a very rich Morphling, and they should feel pretty comfortable about that.
They can't really stop the push. Like, fighting Venom Wards is just a recipe for disaster. Clockwork hooks in, he gets telekinesis out, and they have living armor. So Dendi will join up.
Dendi's looking for the dive immediately. The cold snaps there. Now
Missed
the
the
tornado comes
bolus.
through, and also missed the bolus, but he will just Remnant all the way back to mid. Didn't get a glimpse off there. Glimpse is there though. Now they found Puppy. Pretty tanky, but Frostbitten waveform over the top comes through. He will fall, and meanwhile, the hook shot connects onto Ace. He'll isolate them. The puck jumps forward and breaks Dota. Gets the triple kill. Funnick just going nutso. And suddenly an ultra kill.
Jeez.
He got hooked and then just orbed and dropped his entire payload over here.
Well, Kuroki also, he dropped the Fade Bolt plus Waveform, and then that combined with the Raining Rift, the Coil, and the Illusory Orb. Oh my goodness, everyone just got blown up.
Oh, not as expected. Navi just crushed MYM in that team fight. Well, I mean, after seeing it, the numbers are expected, but
Yowza. Well, that just kind of...
that actually looked pretty good for MYM. They isolated the tree, they killed him off right away. The clock had what looked to be a nice hookshot. Problem was, it's a very tanky Veno with mech already out, and Puck can just jump right out of the cogs. Oh, Navi. All of a sudden, leading 6-2, 3.5k gold lead, 3k experience lead. It's like the second that you start to think their opponents are getting comfortable, could take this in more of a farming style game, that's what Navi say, you know what, you don't get to do that. They've got a blink up on the puck, jumps in deep for Rise as a phase shift blink out available. Nope, it's only a level 1 phase shift, but still the waveform over the top. Kuroki, stop breaking my Dota, man! You're killing me. It's not Punic in the end. It's Krogi who's been doing it. Crit does get off a nice static storm. It does good damage, but Dendi starts cleaning house with the Sleight of Fist, and on to Ace they go. This will be 4 deaths. MYM just crumbling. Gave up the ultra kill to Funny. Now a triple kill to Dendi. It's like they're I don't know, they're House of Cards that just crumbled.
This early mech too strong. I think they just need to drop like Tornado, EMP, Static Storm, Kinetic Field, and try and kill like 2 people in that. If you can get like 2 people in Tornado, that's not too far-fetched, and they're trying to fight 4 on 5 without the Morphling, but Morphling should not be fighting right now. All he has is very small items.
And he wants this tower mid. Living Armor is there. It's not enough though. Unicorn fights his way through it. We'll take down the tier 1, but Navi take a tier 2. And now Navi in great position to go for Roshan. Not the fastest Rosh lineup, but I don't know if MYM can fight into the pit. We'll see. Maybe they'll just look for their farm here. Dendi goes for an early Ogre Club, so no damage for him. Looks like a straight BKB rush. Maybe. I have not seen like Sanj and Yasha Ember, so I imagine it'll just be the BKB. But
yeah, probably scared of Evoke or Orchid, but I guess they'll come out about the same time. I mean, they have tree armor for him. They have the counter initiate from the Puck, with who already has a blink. They'll probably get the Aegis for him soon too, so maybe playing a little bit too safe, but let's see. I'm worried about the point where Navi, like, they take out on T2 with Venomancer sooner or later. They can easily take his T1 if they wanted to. It will just be inefficient.
Can they break the base?
Yeah, that's my big question. MYM doesn't really have anything good versus the wards, and they don't really like have a good frontline tank. Clockwork's initiates has been very, very underwhelming.
So what do you think? Do you think Navi can break the base?
I think they can starve MYM enough so that they're not like forced to. I think they have a very weak base sieging lineup. Ember Spirit is notoriously poor for sieging bases, but they don't want to leave Morphling like just completely unchecked. Let him take advantage of the Midas and just get 6-slotted. So
far he has been left completely unchecked. Level 10. In terms of his kill score, he has the 1 death, but that was just because he chose to fight, not because Navi really forced him to engage or found the gank.
Yeah, well, they don't have to pressure him, they have to pressure his team. So that if Morphling is getting farmed, nobody else is really doing anything. They're losing towers, they're not able to farm the jungle, they're already smoked the best 3 right behind them.
Well, are they going to find the initiation here? There's a Blink Silence, but Unicorn so quick on the reactions, gets off the Strength Marv, and they wave right back in Funnick's face and bring him down.
Nice bait.
Dem reactions. I think he probably lives anyway, but just impressive stuff. Rubik, that was like a quarter of a second.
Rubik still Strength Morph, so good for him.
Yeah, Strength Morph on Rubik, one of the best spells to steal. And now if he steals Waveform, he can be super.
But he only has 0 armor.
No. He's got living armor. Armor's cheap anyway.
Crit gets almost. Yep. Oh, jeez.
Rubik, meanwhile, does steal a CM spell, but yeah, the dive on mid. Ace getting caught out. Disruptor went for a Sleight of Fist, but was not there in time for Dendi. They will TP out successfully. Hero's just manning up against this Morphling. Maybe a bit too much, though. He's got the very low armor and still quite tanky. Very, very durable, but I think they'll get the kill. The Waveform secures it. Meanwhile, your Puck just fishing around for the CM. Has already used most of his spells, though, and will be forced to blink out. So in the end, it's a Rubik down, but Navi get the kill on the Disruptor, so just a support for a support.
Not bad, not bad. How is Dendi's farm status? Any items coming out on chicken? Looks like a Most is actually going for an Orchid. That's unusual.
Not bad.
It's alright versus Morph, I'd say, but...
An Invoker.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Rise. The Bolas are here. He has the Ghost Walk invoked, and Dust gets deployed, so it won't matter. The Tornado comes through, and Rise will fall. Big death. He had the really fast first Oblivion staff, finally has the gold for the second, but Orchid's still a bit of a ways off. And by the time he has Orchid, Dendi should actually have BKB.
I'm surprised that both went 4-1-4. Usually when you get Max Plague Wars, you'll see Max Poison Sting.
Oh wait, he won't have BKB. He actually went Drums.
Yeah, I think he should have gone Drums before Ogre Club, and then seeing how the game develops from there. But as it stands, he has Living Armor, he has Aegis. Not really necessary, and he's actually not the main focus target too. Often they're trying to go for both.
Ace. Kuro's gonna find him out. He tries to lift him, but actually Ace manages to hook shut in, snatches the Aegis. It is a dire Roche kill, and the Aegis will be immediately expunged. Kuroki was mid-cast animation on the lift to just stop that Aegis steal, but Ace, well, he'll pay with his life here. They still get the Roche kill. The gold goes the way of Navi, but big plays nonetheless, at least denying them the Aegis.
Nice indeed. Morphling is somewhat getting large too. He has treads and ultimate orb, so looking at net worth, he is just above Havos, who has a 3 tower advantage, I think, compared to him. Havos gets glimpsed back in, but you don't really want to go on him.
It also, as you mentioned, Navi not the best sieging lineup, and not having an Aegis makes sieging even riskier. So, but this stolen Ghost Walk from Kuroki, he was like right here, just about to lift the Clockwork before it hooked in, and he got behind him with the Ghost Walk, and now he's on the move again, just leading them around and looking for openings while Dendi pushes on the low ground. There's your overgrowth. Onto the instant reaction on the waveform. Unicorn's got some really quick reflexes, I gotta say. But still Rise caught out. The tornado's there, will it be enough to kill him? Sentry Ward gets dropped. One more right click, brings him down. And now Unicorn has got it back. This guy is wide awake, man, huh? Hook shot, onto 2. Has found 2, but they're very tanky tandem. Kuroki quite survivable, and the puck just jumps forward, picks up the Crystal Maiden on the backside. Meanwhile, Ace trying to go toe-to-toe here with Dendi, but Dendi able to bring him down, secures the kill. It goes actually to Kuroki. That stolen Strength Morph is just making Kuroki a nightmare to kill for MYM.
Yeah, I think they underestimate how much HP he has. I think he probably has most HP in the game right now.
The thing is, Funnick just left him alone in the cog, so he was tanking Battery Assault solo, and still barely dropped to half health. Plus he's got that value point in Nullfield now. Well, it's not really a value point, I guess. It's 5% at all levels, but got the single point in it.
He has Tornado. Pretty nifty spell to steal.
He is yet to steal a non-nifty spell this game. The waveform steal was great. The CM spells were kind of meh. Outside of that, Navi will push on through the work on the tier 2 top. This will be the second to last tower, and MYM are starting to feel the heat. And this is where your Morphling would struggle against the Orchid pickup from Avos. It's already out. They've got no way to stop it right now. Tower falls. Navi, do they go high ground yet? Probably going to need to wait for the Aegis, at least take down this tier 2 mid, but
yeah, you fully expect the Navi to take down the T2s, but the T3s are a completely different story, and this is where we see a lot of teams struggle. Unicorn, he does have his Manta Silent, just 700 gold, so the Orchids won't be that relevant, I don't think, and they don't really have a good way to stop his split push. I guess maybe Treant Living Armor, that's about it, but
Dendi goes in, drops the bullets on Ace, no full commitment yet, but he's been cut out. He tried to hook shot away, but gets silenced mid-cast animation. Now Funnick, blinking forward, gets the silence off. Dendi jumps right into the tornado, but still, 2 heroes have fallen. Wicked sick for Dendi, but he'll pay with his life on the way out. Didn't drop a spirit before going down. Now Rise, Overgrowth. Do they bring him down here? Urn gets deployed. Can they glimpse him back in? Sorry, getting the teams mixed up. Just has the stolen static field, or Thunder Strike, I should say. Funnick, he's pushed back by the glimpse here. That'll keep them alive. Kuro diving deep. Yeah, still the Thunder Strike there. Help them secure the kill. And 3 heroes do fall. Now Navi, with those kills, maybe can threaten the base. They don't kill buildings that fast.
they can at least get damage.
They can slowly siege it.
I don't know why they were out there at the T2. There's no reason to defend it. It's your last T2. You didn't defend the other ones. Morph is still farming. He didn't have his Manta at that point.
It's kind of like the last game where Navi didn't defend any of them. Difference in approach, and you can see it being a bit costly here, perhaps. They'll lose the Rubik, and now Navi sticking around, perhaps overstaying their welcome, although the cogs suggest that MYM don't even want to fight. Link running in, but the Medallion, all of a sudden he just melts. Funnick jumping forward as well. He's close to getting the double kill, gets to 1. Now Rise standing his ground. He's dropped the EMP. Unicorn looking for the opening in, and Havos, he'll lose a lot of mana as well as HP to that EMP. Suddenly Tornado onto Puppy as well. Navi are overstaying their welcome, sticking around and paying for it with their lives until suddenly Dendi comes back. Funnick leaps in over the top. Ace will fall. The coil gets deployed, completely airballs it, but does it even matter? Do they have detection here for Rise? Nothing showing yet. Navi do take down 3. I think they lost 2 there. Did anyone respawn or? Well, let's see.
Funny that you asked.
Funny that you asked, indeed. They did lose to it in the end. There you go. My math isn't that bad.
Nice kinetic field. Static Storm combo. Catches out 2.
Very nice. Puppy dropping low. Does fall. Rise comes in from the sidelines. Hits a good tornado as well. Is that a stolen glimpse? No. Funnick, Orchid. Oh, it's going to be enough to bring him down. Funnick will fall. Dendi does manage to pick up one kill on the Crystal Meter, but orbing forward, looks for more, tries to find Rice. Oh, he had the one last right click, but suddenly pops the BKB. I don't know if he wants to stick around, though. Drops the bolus, needs to probably retreat after this. Crit, glimpsing Kuro back. Can they bring Kuro down next? Battery Salt's there. He needs something good to steal, but there's just nothing available. Lifts, but still falls.
The glimpse is owning.
At high ground defense, if you ever try to run against Disruptor, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, there was a prolonged siege, but with Veno dying, the siege should not have continued at that point. But still, the early Orchid on Invoker, it's not that early, but the Orchid on Invoker is doing a lot of work, securing a couple kills.
Uh-oh. Dendi's going man mode here. Straight onto Ace. Living Armor gets deployed as well, so just to help him tank it up, goes in Fizz now. Can't quite get the kill, but does force out a hook shot at least.
Two supports are smoked up, but don't think they're going to find anyone. Maybe they'll find Puppy off guard, but he does have his Blink Dagger already bought in the mid lane. Unicorn, he's still doing well. Number 1 on net worth, or not that far above the Venomancer, but in terms of actual usefulness, I think Veno is much more useful, or much less useful with gold. But he has Scepter. I'm surprised he didn't just go Scepter Veil, though. That's the standard Veno build.
Yeah, I guess they just looked at this NYM draft and were like, you know what, we need more lockdown, mainly for the Morphling, but the problem is the Orchid just wasn't that fast, and Unicorn is quite farmed, so now can just manta out. Oh, Rise comes in at probably the wrong time, gets lifted up, thrown back, now silenced by a both, who also gets silenced. It's a silence party. Dendi jumps in, BKB gets deployed, and just slices off Rise's head, cleaves him to bits. Now Unicorn on the run, scaled up, tries to go for the TP out. The Bolas are cooling. Now they're going to stop the TP. Unicorn nowhere to go. He will fall. Meanwhile, Puppy also on the chase. Link just being clubbed to death by the Tree Man. The Tree Man gets the kill.
And that's aggressive by MYM. I thought they were just going to play the same game plan. Just forward protect 1, run around, try and create space for Morphling, but Morphling didn't have Replicate up, didn't have a safety net at that point, and that's a pretty big loss for them. Now Navi can push high ground, and Morphling can't put any pressure on the side lanes at all. The gold lead's still hovering a little above that 10,000 mark in favor of Navi. Roshan, 7.5 minutes since his last death.
You know, oh, Gale, just going to miss. Actually hit an Ace. No, that's the Poison Stain, but not going to go for that anyway. It was really bad timing for MYM too. Invoker was the hero that was like initially spotted and caught out, and he's the one who wants to be sitting back and counter-initiating. Of all the heroes to get caught, it has to be the worst. So that was quite unfortunate. Ghostwalk has been stolen again. Kuro he's been a nightmare for MYM to deal with, and now he'll jump in with the Blink Dagger from cover of Invis. Now Dendi going to work as well. He's got a BKB in 3 seconds, but it's silence now. Needs the BKB to dodge that soul burn damage and try and fight this one out. Slashes through again. Funnick caught in the cogs. The Blade Mail doing decent damage. Rise still alive. Can Dendi get off another sleight of fist? Yes, he will. Chop some more heads up, making chop suey of MYM thus far, but oh, they haven't officially won the fight just yet. Remnants up to the high ground. Living Armor plus Ember, just such a pain in the rear to deal with. Now, slowly bringing them low. Hasn't killed anyone off. Funnick leaps forward once again, secures the kill, and then like a wizard just blinks into the trees. Will escape. Kuro also lurching in, looking for Unicorn here, who's been silenced up. They try and focus him now. It's 4 dead. MYM get team wiped at the well, and Navi just put the nails in the coffin, it seems. There's a glimpse. There's a buyback glimpse back. Wait, what just... Was that the Rubik glimpse? He bought back and then got glimpsed out of the base and then had to TP back to the well, I'm pretty sure. Interesting. Very, very confusing Dota, keeping me on my toes at these early hours in the morning on the west coast of the US, but I think I got that one right. Strange game.
MYM falling apart here. They should have gone for that T1 push. They were doing okay up until that point. They defended the high ground push in the mid lane. The T3 tower was still pretty healthy, but now they're going to take pretty much irrecoverable losses.
Yeah, this is pretty catastrophic damage. The tower will fall. They're going to lose their Clockwork next. Blade Mailed up, Cycloned up, and then comes down and quickly falls. This will be 2 lanes of Rex, most likely. Actually, top Rex not dead yet, but they can go for that next. It's exposed. There's still 3 heroes dead. GG, well played. Navi started today 5-1, are now 8-1, and beginning to look like a likely candidate for those LAN finals for Starladder. A tournament they have won more than anyone else.
That was a smart strat from them. They have the Veno for the early farm, gets his mech, and then they immediately start taking down all the towers. Funnick was pressured a lot at the start, as was Dendi, but they both end up with tons and tons of kills.